answer. However, the overall picture has started to become much clearer. So what was Gindren's connection to these satanic pedophile networks? How did this ordinary young man from the suburbs become radicalized enough to commit such a horrific act? Why was there a retired Fed in his Discord server? And who is Saint Sandman? Peyton Gindren lived in Conklin, New York with his parents and two young
But yeah, your story's amazing, man. Everybody loves to hear great stories, a great comeback story, especially from the penitentiary, man. Especially a place like that where you've seen some crazy stuff, man. But
Yeah, and I mean, like, with that being said about the crazy stuff, the stuff that I'm going to get into, I'm gonna say it and explain it as, you know, appropriate as I can. That's the best way to try to formulate my words when it comes to this, because I don't want to be too graphic. I don't want to have to say things that's a little bit too extreme, but I do want to tell everybody what's what, and everybody's been asking me about these damn broomsticks. So
yeah, I mean, let's put it like this: the last video that you did with me. That's how you spoke. That's pretty much the best way to speak, man. You know, to be honest, to hit all groups of people, to hit all age groups at that. You know what I mean? You did good, man, and you should kind of format your style just the way you did on that first video with me. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, let's hear it, man. I'll let you start off wherever. I don't know where. You know, I remember the broomsticks is the ending, but hey, if you want to start off from a different period, it's all good.
We can jump right into that. So my first time hearing about it was in county, and then we go back to Sumter CI. Right before I went to Sumter CI,
Hang on 1 second. So the broomsticks was actually being told in county that's something that you really need to look out for.
Yeah, this is a horror story.
Oh, so it's like a big myth or legend type thing in county?
Bro, it's all over the news. It's bad. It's like,
for real?
It's something big. Yeah, it's all over the news. So that's the thing about this specific thing that I'm talking about without giving too much detail. Someone from my way, who I was actually in county jail with, wasn't a big kid, didn't have weight on him, you know what I mean? But then again, that doesn't even matter. When you find yourself in a situation like this, the only reason it doesn't happen to you is because you were blessed. That's it. Because when something like this presents itself, I don't care who you are, how tough you think you are, what you think you're on, there's no stopping it. It's going to happen. What you do after that is the only thing that really matters. So push come to shove, this kid hit Sumter CI, 18 years old. I think he might have been 17 years old at the time. In every bathroom, Sumter CI has open bay dormitories. So it's just bunk beds in there. You know what I mean? And Sumter had cameras. So you got 2 cameras in the dorm. It kind of just, they have blind spots, but the bathroom, there's obviously no camera. Inside every prison bathroom where I was at, there's a mop closet inside of the bathroom. Now this mop closet needs to be opened up by a CO. 99% of these things that have happened, COs let it happen. So well-known thing. COs are not on your side. They used to play games with us. They would take a pillowcase and take everybody's ID, take 2 IDs out of the pillowcase. Y'all 2 got to fight in the mop closet. They used to play a lot of dirty games, especially on the weekends. They'd make us fight. They'd bet on us fighting. They'd let us fight. If you wanted to fight me and you know what I mean, you had a little bit of respect, you asked the CO, he let us get in there. Now, that used to solve problems at the same time. You know, we used to be able to figure things out on our own, but sometimes it will go too far, like in this case. So basically what happened to him and what happens to a lot of people is they tell you, you know, it's time for your TOH. You've already heard about it. You prep for it. You're mentally, you know what I mean? You're ready to go.
Yeah, test of heart. Is that what you said?
Yeah, test the heart.
And
And
okay, he spoke about that in first episode. If y'all want to run that back.
and you might go in there thinking that you're gonna fight. You might go in there thinking you're gonna get jumped. Basically, what happened to this kid is he went in there and a group of people got him on the floor, and they put a broomstick up his, you know what I mean? And what they used to do, bro, is when you get TOH'd, sometimes they'll TOH you and respect you after the fact.
Oh, they degraded him.
What they did to him is they didn't want him in the dorm. So when you get TOH'd by your own people, they're not gonna do anything crazy like that. They might beat you down a little bit, but they're gonna build you back up right after. They're gonna take care of you, patch you up, give you food, clothes, whatever you need, you're good, and they're gonna let you know you're good. If you get TOH'd by your enemies and you don't break it off, they don't want you in the dorm anymore.
Okay, so is the TOH thing something that just people that are affiliated go through, or what?
Nah, this is everybody.
Okay.
This is everybody. I mean, bro, not everybody even makes it to the TOH stage. Some people walk in, get slapped in the face, and they give up. And they're like, yo, you can take whatever you want from me, and that's what it is. And then you got some instances like in mine, they weren't even trying to TOH me. They were just trying to hit me up and get me out of there. I'm not going for that. TOH me for what? I'm just, you know what I mean? Because if I get the opportunity, I'm just going to hit one of y'all. I'm not putting myself in a position where something like that can happen, and thank God it never did. But I still ended up getting TOH'd a couple of times, so sometimes you just can't avoid it.
Yeah.
So they got Buddy in the bathroom, and what happened was they used to take the broomsticks and the mop sticks and scrape them off the concrete on the floor, so that the very end of it, you know how it's normally smooth wood, it would be splintered. So when it goes inside of your body, it's doing so much damage, you can't come back off of that. So basically the kid was in the shower, he wouldn't stop bleeding. And he ended up having to, you know, tell the CO. Florida has PREA, the Prison Rape Elimination Act.
And this whole thing was on the news?
This was a federal lawsuit. So this kid ended up getting paid for this. Like it was.
He lived.
Yeah, he lived. Most of them lived. I don't really know if any of them died, not that I heard of, but this specific kid, he lived, and the damage is still there, bro. Like that must have messed his head up, but you know what I mean?
Add to it, man.
It's once the feds or the news come in, all the COs start acting nice. You know what I mean? Everybody starts getting beat up.
Yeah. Over here in Virginia, when the Department of Corrections like staff come in to do the reviews of the prison, they clean everything up, make it all spotless. COs looking sharp. The ones that be sagging their pants, they got their pants pulled up.
They're not acting like gangsters anymore. You might get an extra cookie on your tray. You never know. You know what I mean? It's a little bit different, but
that's funny, man.
That happened to that kid, and you know there was another kid that happened to. This was at Lake Butler. So this is the North Florida Reception Center. It's a messed up spot. This was where I got cut at. This is where Bounce Bad B did some of his time at. Shout out to him. Someone in the comments was like, oh, this kid's lying. You only get 60 days for doing this. No, but you do that to somebody, it's these bills. If you do something that's going to cost the state money, they're going to come for you. That's when they're going to give you charges. You just cut someone, they got to get some stitches, or they get their face hot glued back together. It ain't really a big deal. And as messed up as it is, that's the honest truth about it. You know what I mean?
But it makes sense. It makes sense. You know what I mean?
But jumping back into the story from part 2, after everything happened with when I cut the kid in confinement.
Oh, you mean part 1?
Yeah, part 1, my bad. I got out of confinement, and when you get out of confinement at Sumter, there's a dorm that you have to go to where it's like you're not all the way in the clear yet. You still can't hit canteen because you just got punished. You got to do a little bit of time in this dorm first. So I get moved into this dorm. The second I walk in there, I see the same kid that was saying that he was a 13, but he folded his flag and the fake blood brought him home. I see him. All of a sudden now he's a Crip, full-blown Crip. I'm like, how, bro? You went from a 13 to a fake blood, and now he's a Crip. Mind you, I just cut a Crip in confinement. So I'm like, all right, I know that there's going to be a problem in here. So I put my stuff down on the bunk, and I immediately called him to the bathroom. I didn't make my bed. I didn't do none of that. The CO was still outside putting people into the dorm, you know what I mean? Telling people what bunk to go to. So no one's in the dorm with us. We go into the bathroom, and everybody makes a big scene. Everybody starts running to the bathroom. We don't end up doing nothing. We go to chow. We come back. We fight. I didn't lose to this kid. This kid wasn't, like I said, I folded him in the beginning. He just completely folded his flag. Yeah. This time he actually stood up for himself a little bit because there was a bunch of GDs in the dorm. So the gangster disciples and the Crips were tied flags. You know what I mean? So they kind of made him fight. He didn't put on whatsoever for the Crips. He didn't put on for the GDs at all. What ended up happening was the next day I went to school. When I come back from, because it's mandatory that you have to go to school. When I come back from school, I get cuffed up ASAP. So I'm asking the CO, why am I getting cuffed up right now? Come to find out, there was a GD in the dorm who was supposed to be the head GD in that dorm specifically, not on the compound. And one of my brothers was gonna fight him in the dorm. So I wasn't the only blood this time. There was like one other one and then one cutthroat. But the GD had like just came here or whatever, and he got his finger shot off right before he came to prison. So he was trying to use the excuse, oh, I can't fight because of my finger. Why do you need a finger to fight? You know what I mean? Just close your hands. But he wouldn't fight or whatever. So the CO, he cuffs me up, and I'm asking him, why am I getting cuffed up? Brings me into a room. All the COs are running up in my face, whatever. They made me strip down, butt naked. I got 4 grown men looking at me. I'm butt naked. You know what I mean? So I'm starting to talk at this point, like, y'all want to see me like this? Like, what is y'all intentions with this? And he tells me they found gang knowledge in my bunk. I'm like, gang knowledge? What gang? He said, oh, you're a GD. I said, I'm a GD. Have you not, you know what I mean? You don't see these tattoos? You haven't checked my gang profile? I'm a GD now. So I end up finding out of the CO's mouth, tells me that the kid that's missing his finger from getting shot came and told him that I got gang knowledge in my bunk. Basically what they did is they set me up. He wrote some fake stuff, put it in my bunk, and got me up out of there because he was scary as hell. And the CO literally told me that he did this. They put me under investigation and confinement. So I couldn't come out. At that point, I turned 19 in confinement, and this is when I got shipped to Lancaster. So when you get shipped, you have to go back to your main reception center. So I went back to Central Florida Reception Center. The COs already knew me. One of the COs was a Latin King. The other CO was NPR. So I was good, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna say too much, but K2 was flooded in there, weed was flooded in there, and we were enjoying ourselves in CFRC. We were vibing out because everyone in there is new, so there's nothing really going on. I get sent to Lake Butler. When I hit Lake Butler, it's a whole nother world. So when I was in Sumter, I kind of skipped over this part. When I was in Sumter doing the original 60 days in confinement, I went psych in confinement. So what we were, I think this is, matter of fact, this was when I was under investigation. My bad. This wasn't when I was doing the original 60 days. This is when I was under investigation. So a couple of my boys were telling me, if you go psych, you might get sent to Lake City. You would go down to Miami first, which is where they have the mental health facility. Then you get sent to Lake City. Lake City is a youth offender prison, but it's a private camp. You get Walmart canteen.
Yeah, you get good stuff.
You get the whole jar of peanut butter. They got a dog program where you can train a dog in your cell with you. Super, super nice. You never go outside. The whole facility's indoors and everything, AC. We didn't have none of that. So 2 of my boys go psych. One of them actually tried to kill himself. He swears to God that he didn't, but he had 15 years mandatory. His own mother turned him in for the reward money. He didn't have anybody riding with him. He was going through a lot. And what he did is when they took him out of confinement to take a shower, he tried to jump off the tier. The CO, by the grace of God, grabbed him by the ankle and saved him. Otherwise, you know, if he had hit the floor, he would have snapped his neck, whatever. He swears he wasn't trying to kill himself. I don't believe it, bro, because I know damn well I wouldn't have did that. My other partner from Tampa, he NPR, he's headbutting his window in his cell. So the COs do their round, he's headbutting the window, bam, bam, bam. So I can see his cell from across from mine, and I just see him blasting it. The COs open his flap, they cuff him up, they take him down to medical. I had a razor in the cell with me. I always had razors. I always found a way to get a razor. So what I did is I took the razor and I cut myself with the razor. And I didn't like I didn't do nothing crazy. I'm literally nicking it, just, you know, forming a long line, just nicking and then pinching my skin so it bleeds a little bit. So what I did is I took the toilet paper and I wet it, I soaked it, and I covered up the windows and left only a little bit of the window open. I took a piece of paper and I wrote, "I'm gonna kill myself." I wiped my blood all over it. I stuck it on the window. I laid down on my back and I'm just bicycle kicking the door down. The COs come in and pop my flap. I'm thinking they're gonna gas me, so I'm hiding up on the top bunk in the corner. I didn't even have a bunkie at this time. And the CO on that shift, he was a cool dude. He wasn't on that craziness. He didn't abuse his power. So he asked me, he's like, what's going on? You all right? I'm like, nah, I want to kill myself. I want to kill myself. So he cuffs me up. I go down to medical. And they take me down to medical. I'm sitting next to my boy. He got 3 knots on his forehead from headbutting the damn door. So we're chilling in medical. Mind you, the medical nurse at Sumter CI, oh my God. I still remember to this day, everything about her. She was the best. Okay. And her husband was actually from Boston too, so she liked me a little bit more because of that.
Oh, shit.
While I'm talking to her, I'm butt naked in a little suicide skirt, handcuffed and everything, so it's not like I can, you know what I mean, do too much, but it is what it is. They put me in a psych cell, which is a pretty big size room. I got a suicide mat on the floor. They gave me the thickest blanket. The suicide mat, bro, is like the equivalent of a Tempur-Pedic. I don't know if you ever went psych, but this is the thickest, most comfortable mat. It's not like the ones that you normally get where you lay down, you can feel the metal under you. This is a nice mat. The blanket's super thick because you can't kill yourself with it. You can't take string off of it. And they gave me a turtle suit, which is like the green full body suit. I took that off. That was my pillow. So I'm butt naked the whole 21 days in this. Like, I'm really trying to pull this whole psych thing. You're only supposed to go psych for, I think, like 5 days or 7 days before it's mandatory that they ship you. I was in there for 21 days in that psych cell. The whole state of Florida, the psych units were basically on lockdown because they were overpopulated. They couldn't accept any more people, so no one could go. So I wasted my time doing this whole thing. I never got sent anywhere. I just sat in the psych cell 21 days and just really got to know myself. I would be in there catching flies.
Butt naked.
Butt ass naked. Now, I didn't know you could knock out flies. Anybody at home can try this out if you got something flying around. I'm slapping the flies in my room just to kill time. They'd hit the floor. I wouldn't squish them. All of a sudden, they get back up in a few minutes and stop flying around again. This is my daily routine.
Oh.
The food they used to serve you, it would come in a Tupperware container. They wouldn't give you a spork or nothing like that. So you would have to rip off a corner of the Tupperware container and use it to scoop up your food, and otherwise just eat with your hands. You weren't allowed to be given too much toilet paper. If you were given toilet paper, they pretty much watch you use the bathroom. It was a mess, but I mean, when you go to prison, bro, all that, using the bathroom and being seen naked, you're not worried about that anymore because you get over that real quick.
There's much worse things to worry about than that.
Yeah, and the captain, that worked at something. CI was gorgeous too, and she checks up on you every day. So it had its perks, but at the same time, I feel like I lost a couple brain cells doing 21 days in psych. So